Go ahead and jump into the last question of the day, you guys. And the last question comes from a Terry Kane. And he writes, "Hey Alex, so what do you think about The Simpsons will no longer have white actors voice no black characters on the show? Do you think that this is a right move to make for this long lasting show?" Well, thank you for your question, Terry. It's funny because we were talking about this thing on Ian's show a couple days ago, but it was in regard reference to I believe family Cleveland show that the actor in that show who voices Cleveland decided to step away so that way a person of color could voice Cleveland. And my take on that is essentially somewhat the same, that you want to hire the best person for the role. I do think that since Disney now owns the Simpsons, I think that it's a good thing that they are now including more African Americans or more people of color to fill those roles for the Simpsons. But see, here's my thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, on my panel, but the Simpsons, they're yellow characters. Um, Unless you want to consider them as white people, okay? They're like I don't even really consider the Simpsons human. So I mean, and although Apu is an Indian in the show, and then you have some other characters in the show who are from a different background, but for me, I personally just didn't really care for the show that much, and also I didn't really consider them as an average human family because they're like the main characters in that whole show are all yellow. So except for Apu and like a few others, and so I mean I think that for them to cast black people for those roles or people of color is a good thing to do. Also, I said on Ian's show, like one of my favorite voice actors is Phil Lamar. He voiced Samurai Jack, which is not a black character, it's an Asian character. He voiced plenty of characters on The Simpsons, Family Guy, American Dad. He was also the voice of Static Shock. He was also the voice of John Stewart, Green Lantern, in the original Justice League series that was on Cartoon Network. So, you want to cast the best actor for the role. However, I do think that in this day and age of diversity, um, you want to give those roles to I believe to for the best person of the job, but also open that opportunity up for the best black or brown person for that role. Like I said before, I'm all for diversity. I'm all for inclusion. If you guys feel like the Simpsons should definitely be voiced by black or brown people, let's do it. Why not? But we've tackled this topic before on Ian's show, so I'll pass it to Jeremy. What do you think about the Simpsons getting rid of all white voice actors to speak on black roles or to voice black characters on their show? And do you think that they should be more inclusive in terms of their diversity for those roles?
I'm going to do my impression of Dave Brock. Can you see that? And
Yeah,
just the comment section of in general.
Oh, wow.
Man, what next? They're going to try to turn our unicorns black? They're going to blackwash our unicorns?
Wow.
Nah. So stupid.
Yeah.
Dave Brock, you have been put on notice, sir.
Yes, you have.
Warren Thomas Kerrigan Jr. says, this is getting ridiculous. How race-focused do you need to be or care about the race of a voice actor? This one's pretty good. Say Piccolo Black isn't racist. Green Lives Matter. Comment section. Freaking brilliant, aren't they?
Oh, wow.
Oh, God. I got mixed feelings about it. Like, okay. When I spoke on this last time, I forget every once in a while. It's not that I forget. I just try to tie things to what I know to be truth. And sometimes I forget that all things aren't equal. So if all things were equal, then hell yes, the best person should always get the job. I don't know the behind the scenes stuff. If there are people of color that are getting denied opportunities, cute dog. If there are people behind the scenes that are being excluded because of their race, because of their gender, whatever the discrimination's because of, and I'm sure it happens, then that's an injustice that needs to be fixed. But my whole thing is like, if there aren't a bunch of black voice actors beating on the door, then us writing these think pieces isn't really getting anything done. It's a problem of the talent pool that you're pulling from, or it's a problem of institutionalized racism that, while I know it's a thing, and I would be completely ignorant to not believe that it was a thing, I don't think Hollywood is the place where the majority of it is going down. So I don't know. Maybe there were 100 African Americans that applied for Civil War. Mm-hmm. But what's interesting about that is if they were able to find a crew of all people of color for Black Panther, then there's at least one of each of those people out there that they could hire on different projects. Mm-hmm. Good point. So with the voice acting thing, if all things were equal, then I would say I don't care who voices what nationality or color. I would say if all things were equal, I would say once you limit an actor to only be able to play the role of the thing that they are they really acting anymore, right? Like, I don't, people aren't like, why don't they hire real giants to play real giants? That's a stupid example. You get what I'm saying? Like, right. Or Lord of the Rings movies. Right. They could have had dwarfs play the hobbits, but they didn't. So is that bad? Or is that just the vision that the filmmaker had? I don't know. It's a very deep philosophical question that could ramp off in all sorts of different directions. But specifically with The Simpsons, I don't care. I haven't watched The Simpsons in 10, 15 years. I mean, like, I liked it in the 80s and early 90s. Actually, it was really good in the early 90s. But it's running on season 500 now. I'm bored with it anyway. So no matter what they do on that show, it's not going to make a difference on my life. I would either be feigning enthusiasm or feigning outrage over the clickbaitness of it, and not the fact that I actually am invested at all.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I lie too. I'm not. Again, I only watched The Simpsons when I used to didn't have any cable. Like, that was like the first show you can watch without having cable. And also, when I did get cable, I watched it. It's nothing that I can relate to that I find that really funny, to be honest with you. But Ian, you heard this news. We talked about this on your channel as well. What do you think about this Disney just changing the voice actors from white actors to people of color?
I will eventually answer this question, but I will not sit here and have you guys disrespect the classic Simpsons. Man. They are the GOAT. You wouldn't have all these great adult cartoons if it wasn't for the Simpsons. Shame on you, especially you, Alex, disrespecting
the shit is almost as old as I am, Ian. And what do you say to me every single week?
I was going to ask you, how old were you when it premiered? Were you about late 30s when that premiered?
Man.
All right.
Jokes as tired as The Simpsons, dude. Get out of here.
Nah, I'm getting to that point. God bless The Simpsons. It's one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best cartoons of all time. It spawned and inspired all these great cartoons that we have now. With that being said, I am for diversity in everything, especially cartoons. I would love to give opportunities to everybody, and it's been monumentally and historic that majority of these voice actors are white. With that being said, with The Simpsons, when they announced that one, I think I cared more about the Family Guy one, just because there was a whole show with black people when they did the Cleveland Brown one. With The Simpsons, though, The Simpsons is more iconic than Family Guy, and these voice actors have literally been there since day one.
And Nancy Cartwright is a middle-aged woman, not a little white boy. So if we do that, if we start saying you can only cast in this specific way,
there you go.
Most of the talent of the voice cast.
So that's a good thought right there. Yeah, so I'm saying, like, a lot of these people have been doing this since '89. So when it comes to just The Simpsons, it might sound hypocritical. The Simpsons, I really don't care, especially since I do agree that maybe it is time for them to hang it up. It's nobody's really watching it. I think their prime days are over. Always going to have respect for them, but nobody's really watching it. So I will agree with that notion as well. So that's why I'm just like, why even make this progressive move now when everybody 99% of people are going to be like, I thought you guys were on the way out anyway. Why even make these changes? Mm-hmm. So when it comes to The Simpsons, I'm going to be like, dude, just keep doing a poo. Dude, just keep doing the Black Doctor. Dude, just keep being Homer's black friend, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. So that's my opinion on that. You did mention something that I didn't even think of when we were bringing it back to Black Panther, when you said that they purposely got a whole black crew. They purposely did, bring this black stuff to this certain movie. And we were talking about how, like, why does it all need to be black for this? Well, you did make a good point when you said that. I was like, you know what? I don't know the ratio of black voice actors versus white voice actors versus Hispanic or Asian. But you've proven the point that a studio, if they want it, they will find it. So I am pretty sure there is a black voice actor out there that's waiting on his time to shine. Right and there. If they want it, they will get it. They will find it. So that Jeremy, I didn't even think about that until you said that. I was like, you know what? That is a good point. That, and more of this conversation comes to the controversy. We have like a 30-minute conversation about it. Very good. I definitely recommend it. Not just plugging my channel, but I do think all of us had some great gems in there. But yeah, that's my opinion on that. When it comes to Simpsons, just don't bother with it. But I do want to see more opportunities for voice actors of all colors. And it is weird that, I've always thought it was weird that you would get the white person sometimes to do the black voice, even though we all agree it's for the character. It's the best thing for the character. We're going to go with that. So I obviously it doesn't have to be black every time. But I do think now that Jeremy even said I'm going to hit the nail on it even more. If you want to give the opportunities, I think we're going to offer more. We should offer more opportunities to black people. Not saying they should get the part, but we do think we should offer it a little bit more. There we go.
Yeah, and I agree. And Jeremy did make a really good point. Studios, especially Disney, which Simpsons is under, if they wanted to find a full black and brown cast for The Simpsons, they could. I mean, I was starting to think back. The live action Lion King remake, majority of those cast members are black people. So again, if they wanted to do that, they could. But like you said, it's The Simpsons. They're like episode 6,000. I don't know. I really don't watch The Simpsons. My kids don't watch The Simpsons. So, but what do you guys think? Do you think that this is a smart move by Disney to recast these actors into their more prominent roles? And do you think that diversity should be implemented for voice actors all across the board, whether it's The Simpsons or Family Guy or whatever? Jump into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.